Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Yuli opens room 1. E4, the classic war cry. The white pawn storms the center, seizing space and tempo boldly. Wesley So answers, Penmersoneri torch pen. Isianoye. Anti-Duan. C5, embracing the Sicilian's bite. A flank strike that immediately contests White's central ambitions with edge. Yuli leaps to Meisterwit Tankhenden. Nf3, his knight probes the field, eyes d4 like a hawk and prepares to support the coming storm. Wesley So develops. Nanitwen, he was a settlement deterrent, and second border general. Ninda. Nc6, his knight occupies the natural square, contesting d4, and promising sharp, tactical fireworks ahead. Yuli banks 3 put. d4, the pawn thrust, shatters the center. White demands answers and opens lines like a siege engine unleashed. Wesley So obliges with Potsdam, Tension Osterdenmesh Tulsirde. Anime. Undane, Essenian, Idor, Ush. Cx4. The c-pawn captures on d4, exchanging pawns and splashing the center with the first real blood. Yuli retakes Fortune into an dynasty. Angst 4. The knight snaps back to d4, reclaiming space and sniffing out imminent tactical bites. Wesley So plays Hens. And, Immolen, Adioli was status, Alimester C. Nf6, his knight jumps toward e4, instantly threatening White's central pawn and heating the tension considerably. Yuli responds, 5. Nc3, bringing more cavalry to the center. White's pieces align with appetite for aggression and control. Wesley So strikes with Dotchinen, non-Gerenen. Menti. Ninienen. F5. An energetic pawn thrust challenging White's structure directly and aiming to seize the initiative now. Yuli slips 6. Nb-p5. The knight skulks to b5, targeting 6 and 7, a little infiltrator behind enemy lines seeking targets. Wesley So shows up with Taich. Kenin. Always seeking, intended Shentian. And then, Zix, a practical pawn block that secures his camp and bluntly tells the knight, public access denied. Yuli pins, with 7 tron, no waruze, amstishennes segentat. Bg5, The bishop glowers toward f6, creating latent tactical pressure and a whisper of disruption around black's king. Wesley So boots the knight with hanging news too. Nay one in the wisha. Ennetain. A6. A pawn push that barks move along and forces white's intruder to decide its fate. Julia retreats 8. Kenbo, Inshin, in his Bethlehem. Na3. The knight slides back to safety while still scanning the battlefield for fresh mating routes and weak squares. Wesley So expands with Torch P1. Nenin. Konuntiosien. Hasedening Patfimus da Girobonan. Kaninchin. Ninai. In the state Shiuris, Urbeken. B5. A swaggering flank push gaining space, opening lines, and hinting that black wants active play and complications. Juli storms 9. ND5. The knight re-enters spectacularly into central real estate, flashing threats at 7, and suddenly making black nervous. Wesley So calmly fits. Niederleine sin. One shall stay. Ende. Bisaven, developing a piece, tidying king's safety, and preparing to castle while keeping an eye on the center. Juli strikes decisively, with 10. Bxf6, the bishop captures on f6, eliminating black's knight and converting pressure into concrete material change. Wesley So recaptures. Penmo might turn, takes you to the stinginessing. Eins. And Sienen. Bxf6. The bishop takes back on f6, stepping into the vacancy with solid practical resolve and renewed piece coordination. Juli continuous, with 11. C4, driving a pawn forward to clamp the center. He wants total dominance, building a wall of white fire across the board. Wesley So answers. Nassini. Elnin. B4, a fierce pawn jab from the queen side, poking at white's knight and shouting, "Back off or get buried." Undanenia. Juli calmly slides the knight to 12. NCT2, retreating but still lurking, like a hunter waiting for the next chance to pounce. Wesley pushes. Ending. And then, Denonen, Yetiningan, kill me. Sion, Panadane. A thief, a territorial stomp that seizes dark squares and declares the entire queenside under his control. Juli develops with 13. Petain Wilumnen, Munat Korbenisio. B2. Finishing kingside preparation, he's about ready to castle, and brace for impact. Wesley castles, Pestinumeon Mutchen. Niedernesing, Edineo Kit. Unineston, Nindonen, und diese Schuenei, Punchigets. Oh, tucking his king to safety. Black flags fluttering as his rooks connect for war. Julinerus, with 14 Penton. Und die winners sind bested. Oh, both kings now in bunkers. No more hiding. The middle game is officially ablaze. Wesley's bishop lunges to hen. Q&A's to sengministische, and tamawari tensial, esial. Encima. Senai Norden. Beeshive. A deadly diagonal sniper, pointing straight at Yuli's heart, the FR square shimmering with danger. Yuli replies, 15 pond. QD3. Lifting the queen into the fray, coordinating with the bishop, and maybe plotting a future sacrifice. Wesley cools the tension with the old Jiwanaish, headinadate verstikension with Nenden, Wuninen, and Jerishiken, Moni Ubelububish. Yeah. Inuane, Hilbord with a seri, in Gataman Masunoplan. The Zix, a quiet but classy move, his dark squared bishop plants itself solidly, covering weak points and glaring back. Juli expand 16. Paul Diori was nadid ednan, pedinat stetstatestianant. F3. The pawn creeping up to challenge, b4, and prepare a counterpunch on the flank. Wesley pushes. And on. Bx3, saying, thanks for the target. As the b-pawn captures with attitude, opening files for his rooks. Lieve takes 17 pain. Qx3, queen swoops in like a falcon, restoring material balance and sharpening her claws over the queenside. Wesley captures. Antion. Enwanubik shears, Enistin Hedden, and Betford Nude. Unas Shannon Damanda, is someone, and Fiawi, in the cane. Bxt5, slicing off the knight that stood proudly on di5, a trade that changes the battlefield's shape completely. Li Camille recaptures 18. x5, pawn takes bishop, and now that pawn looks like a spear pointed directly at Wesley's camp. Wesley flexes. Now. Onda. Kneesaven, the knight stepping back to regroup, ready to reroute to 5 and strike again later. Li doubles rooks, with 19. Kenneth Florus a formation besta betsis 19. F-Dawn, heavy artillery rolling into the center, the battlefield rumbling beneath their wheels. Wesley throws Spunen, Patsinian and Remy, always seabest. In the scene, Elrich Pen, and the so, and Ain't Thrain. G6, creating air for his king, and a hint of kingside counterplay. It's calm before the storm. Yuli Nudges his queen, to 20. QC3, eyeing 7, b4 and the diagonal to height, It's a multitasking menace waiting to explode. Wesley responds with, "Talking natural pain, and I mean now we challenge setting." Yes to pen, or men talent, in all always. Ennatia. QB6. Black queen slides across like a shadow, lining up on the same flank. Queens are now face to face, tension thick as smoke. Yuli pushes 21 point. B4, striking hard on the queen side, a daring advance that screams, "I'm not done yet." Iste, en greatness, en recho, in wondersten, as she wished you. Wesley So, response, past Queen. Antunisen. Endinity. Axe B4. His pawn accepts the challenge, tearing open the flank, and leaving both kings exposed to crossfire. Yuli's queen slides to 22. QX B4, recapturing neatly, keeping material even while tightening control over dark squares. Wesley So answers. No in, and no, and my. QAC7, pulling his queen to safety, but keeping her gaze deadly down the c-file like a poised sniper. Yuli, reinforces with 23. Na3, the knight rides again, ready to leap into b5 and sink its fangs into 7. Wesley coolly counters. Busting again, Pendor Siwayazin 10, Hamlin said. Undermine, Astidende, in Mamon make Shino, Edimadang. And none. NF, his knight springs to life, growling at d4 and f-hour, ready to clamp the center like a vice. Yuli fires back 24, Pedimagis. NB5, the knight lunges forward, sharp as a blade, right into the heat of battle, pressuring that black queen. Wesley defends with Dochuon, Actiomena Niasena, Ikanon Dori. Yan. Anditino. QB6, calmly shifting his queen back, no panic, just pure precision as he holds his formation together. Yulu, develops again, with 25. Pegistain. Begi 4, lining up bishop and queen, eyeing 5 like a predator stalking prey. Wesley parries, Petstanolue, Vestius, Unbuktunesi. 10. Inastene, Tobit 10 more to 9, and 10. Energio. Bezaven, interposing smoothly, saving the knight and maintaining order under pressure. Yoli, continuous, 26. BSF5, bishop captures knight. A brutal hit, one of Wesley's best defenders bites the dust. Wesley instantly responds, Wedstub. Mention. Pen. None. GSF5, pawn takes bishop, opening his g-file like a cannon, ugly but deadly potential brewing. Least 27. QB3 brings the queen to the side, watching the board with cold intent, eyeing weak points on both wings. Wesley swings a rook over. Whiz. Still wingen, penetrate. Nun. Enken. QC5, aligning power with precision. Threats are multiplying like storm clouds. Yuli steadies the defense with 28. QD3, queen steps up, linking rooks and daring Wesley to break through. Wesley calls the artillery. Descent. Mendulway K. RF8. Rook slides onto the open file, target locked, white center is now under direct fire. Yuli advances 29, Penesteel, Ulmonkred Key. Making luff for the king, and preparing to kick back if Wesley overextends. Wesley thunders. Maintain. And in all, as it is secret. E4, pawn shoves forward with violence, stabbing at white's heart and cracking open new lines. Yuli retreats, 32 phone. QD4, sidestepping the blow, queen stays active and holds the defensive web together. Wesley roars, Petrin non sin, Petchenabunias seyomoy. Na, Nidantresier. Esenopinche. Enel need sin so, on church. Manger. Arxeone. Rook captures rook. The board trembles as heavy steel clashes. Yuli calmly returns, 31, port. Arxeone. Rook takes rook, restoring balance, but leaving open files screaming with tension. Wesley's queen swoops, Penewestigen, Penbia Stedisadego Canopy. Und. Quick c4, she seizes a pawn cleanly. Precision execution. The black queen now dominates the center. Yuli counters, 32, Pestro Western, Estudisenin, yes Offweinen, to 32. QXC4, offering a queen trade to cool the fire. If accepted, maybe he survives. Wesley accepts with Torchy Tool. In Nishia Zaman, Nidanepine. Onion. Arik c4. Rook recaptures and keeps all the initiative. Black's army now flows like a machine. Yuli develops, 33, Post, Unnen, Captain Mr. Essis. Right. A check from the rook. He won't go quietly, at least not without fireworks. Wesley sidesteps trendy pay. Pensho winomiste sin. Minion. Unter tin. K7. King calmly moves aside, unshaken, as if saying, "Nice try, but it's still my game." Yuli doubles pressure with 34 tennis. Raise 7. Rook lines up for infiltration, scanning the 7th rank for soft targets. Wesley holds firm with page 2. Anilwun. Essay. Andi. Amnau. Kissay. Indi. An. Ali will. Hanadesi. IC5. Rook blocks the path, an iron wall barring white streams of counterplay. Yuli pushes 35. Piste benvenan woman in Seninja. NC7. Knight lunges forward again, eyeing E65 and threatening chaos. Wesley simply moves. And none. Nipenasian, Imo Obe Tsuru, Ashtia. Nei. Kj6, stepping closer to the action, his king turns warrior, ready to fight shoulder to shoulder. Li keeps attacking 30, 6 Pukto Nolan. Nazix. The knight shifts again, twisting behind enemy lines like a ghost on the flank. Wesley responds, Pestiumdas en Wilwo Nope, Kidaris Dewudat Tubersin, in Demusil. Onus Oninden, Enibimoch Senye, Onishtel Renistre. Arconeo. A lightning check from the rook. White's king jolts, no rest for the weary. Yuli handles it with 37. Penboish to the Suluwen, Honobian. KJ2. King sidesteps, heart pounding as the endgame looms closer. Wesley centralizes. Polwesu. Ende. Asintion. Inditio appenen, in Easter woolness denis de heads. While apai. Bf6. The bishop finally awakens, guarding key diagonals and joining the assault. Yulu. Li fights back, with 38. Ardziven. Rook plants itself firmly, defending the 7th rank with pride. Wesley calmly plays. Nunwell Winnie. Uyesea. Ahoaji. Enten main. Sha. The thief. Tightening his grip, both bishops now cutting through the board like twin scythes. Litris 39. Fowler, a last-ditch counterpunch, hoping to stir complications and free his position. Wesley executes. Antinan. Ninmin. XF3T. A tactical bomb. Pawn takes pawn with check. White's king jolts again under fire. Yuli recaptures 40 Paisten, Inuntiunvis, in Bestinen. KXF3. King steps up bravely into the storm, clutching at survival in a smoking battlefield. Wesley continues. Wonernilkun, onein. Aninsh. RC2. Rook slides down with menace, aiming it at H2 and threatening total invasion. Yuli blocks, with 41 pense, is still ruin. NB4. The knight leaps to safety, clinging to defense while trying to shield his fragile pawns. Wesley So counters, Pest Tutsin. Anchanin, Bendiari. RX8 Do. Rook snatches a pawn with brutal precision. One more body drops on the board. Yulu Li regroups with 42. Pestis. End 3. Shifting the knight back to defend the king and cover crucial squares. Wesley keeps advancing. Pewurnazanuan. Pektuwesoisseji. Nianarol. Inkane. Etieneniste. Enkel. Ina. Inapenta. Undispime. Insoribe mestul. Inapenin. RD2. Rook invades deeper, slicing through the white position like a guillotine. Yulio resists with 43. Pestodenen, Pectinobois, and Wulo. K3. The king steps up into the line of fire, desperate to block the intruder. Wesley tightens the screws. Onderdenin denei. Istanine pes. Helboord is to Epstein. Is Chelbogestei. Endai. Ratro. Sliding his rook to the flank. Every square is now under his control. Yuli fortifis. 44. N Fury. Throwing a check like a final roar, trying to turn defense into counterplay. Wesley dodges. Pandi und Chuiskilkti, Undusfiobiste. Anistil. Bentendainen. Dombuwi ken. Kizen kandamai. Endibersdai. Entichen. KF6. His king sidesteps calmly, unshaken under pressure, a general in full command. Ulysse. King marches, 45. KF3. Linking with the knight. He's not giving up, still searching for counter chances. Wesley rotates his rook. Andua. Umadion. Oenbianen. Olubis tech benestin. Is thou. Osinen? Rafiv. Eyeing the fifth rank, ready to strike from a new angle. Yululi lashes out. 46. Erdate. Rook bursts forward to hit back. Tiny sparks of defiance flash on the board. Wesley calmly replies. Anna. Oh. Panin? Andale. BX4. Bishop captures knight. A devastating blow. Yuli's best defender vanishes instantly. Yuli Ray takes 47. Pando Nyuki. GSF4. Pawn captures bishop, shattering his own pawn structure in the process. Wesley strikes. Ant. Ben. pace in menolis. Ondian, penning, pinchi. H5. Rook gobbles up the d-pawn with ease, another casualty in this relentless assault. E. Uli shifts 48. Peptisen, Penoda modument choktum wechtabang. Tif. K3 king centralizes again, clinging to order as the walls crumble. Wesley advances. Day. Endemorin, in near, ors. Nun, emodisige, an excepta. Ardone. Rook invades the first rank, shadow, looming over white's remaining pawns. Uli counters, with 49, Peshton. Ketu, sliding sideways to cover back ranks and protect his last few soldiers. Wesley intensifies Doshtuun, Pyo, and Pendenisiwedi, Penexibetopton. Any. And say, and the Osibi, Emodupanan, in the Sinisia and Shay. AD4. Rook snakes behind enemy lines, controlling everything in its path. Uli pushes 50 toward enemy Ethiman. K3 refusing to retreat, he's standing on the front lines, one last act of courage. Wesley swings into position. Pedawodwin Nesturik Tadeshten, Pamot Chudakshayam Hay. Eninda. Inai. Kindimo. Then Kiln Chimisti 1, and Shandao, 1 Yenpai, and he. Referee. Forcing the king into motion, each check lands like a thunderclap. Uli sidesteps. 51 Portia. Calf 3, weary but still alive, dodging another spear of steel. Wesley marches. Portiun, Pedinesis. Enendal. Ennen. Nidsian. El Urolei. Et Pei. K6, king steps forward like a juggernaut, black's army moves as one. Uli clings, on 52. Re-8 rook check. He's not done fighting yet. Wesley answers. Polne Tamayan. Chichtuli, on Yua Wecho. Intestine. Eshitsio Indiepan, a Danish series, an inward which Kebachino. And KD5, king continues forward, undaunted, turning danger into dominance. Uli defense assist. Piftu is to Obun, and Oktoda Viganubune. Right, trying to generate counterplay along the H-file. Wesley shifts gears, Dostwin, and Denoroin Nishuda Dist Kel. Anin Aninwolnen, Kiumgizenti, in Tisalpai. Rafur, rook repositions, hunting down white's weak pawns with clinical aim. Uli strikes, 54 piston. Rx is 7, rook captures a pawn. A small victory amidst the ruins. Wesley responds. Agenda. Ra3 check. The black rook's relentless chase resumes. Yuli dodges. 55. Kf2. King ducks away, panting through the chaos. Wesley keeps pushing. Bow race. 1. Ace 10k. Ent. K4. The king marches forward with lethal intent, no hesitation. Yuli fins hope in 56. Eric's F7. Rook takes a pawn, he's clawing back 1 point at a time. Wesley retorts, Hechtian. In der Wohnen Pell. Versillen, ne Missillen, was treste die. Dann. Kaichi's 4, king bite his back, devouring pawns and tightening the noose. Yuli runs 57 pawn. Out-7. Rook tries to stay active, maybe a last flicker of counter chance. Wesley centralizes. Postorn, Paiseste Zamonen, Pomulnen Shanti. Oman. Monel. Ratwon, check again. The white king is hunted, like prey. Yuli shuffles, 58, Pendensel. Keone, stepping aside, exhausted but unbroken. Wesley drives. Mr. Puntian, window in order, Nick Penasiwina. Indonesian. K3, king surges in, dominating the center. Yuli offers, resistance 59. Rizaven, desperate to hold the line. Wesley coolly parries George Toit, and Denison, and Bilksobulun, assistage and attracte. Us. Innal. Arenwine. Anishen. Kf3, brushing off checks like flies. Lee plays, 60. Ardis setting his rook in defense, but the net is tightening fast. Wesley delivers, Pechtia Pezin, Pemorenche, Chonokikshir Po. Anandi. Anim, Ombo. Ritual. Another slicing check, forcing the white king to dance in pain. Yuli dodges, 61, Polneshir 61. Kafone, barely hanging on as shadows close in. Wesley presses, Pondiomon, Tium Maiden's Tuestis. Antin. Nirmanen, Danimo she was, as Stivent, Admedin Astanchi. RD2, Rook returns to its deadly post. Precision, warfare in motion. Yuli shifts, 62. Keone, hoping to stay within reach of his remaining pawns. Wesley hammers. Protestonobinistiris et tenen, et dustramistigreiste day. En Initendis? Nein. Eddie 4, cutting off escape routes. His rook now rules the entire board. Uli defends, with 63. Pestenes and der Björn Silver Matisch, 60. Ray 7, trying to create threats from afar. Wesley counters. Björn Senen, Shawonis Teoris Tent, Hambichedian Shodot. Mengenanden May. India May. Power, pawn thrust forward, the final dagger preparing to deliver checkmate. Liisis 64 it paw. Rathrain, rook check. One last act of defiance. Wesley sidesteps, penulwone, pentuentionen, elitundetanian. Onmestay. KJ2, smooth as ice, walking straight through the storm. Uli pushes, 65 for Nien, Penistion wo, Teldem mo unstich. Ratwon, another check. He refuses to die quietly. Wesley moves. Penbenin, Testodrestan. K3, still marching forward, unfazed. Uli, 366 Topton. Ray desperate for counterplay, clutching at the final threads. Wesley, calmly. Anlaamon. Yenividsal. Enten pen. Sane. RB4, rook steps aside to attack the flank, no mercy left in sight. Uli checks, 67, Hamuri Warrior Station. R8, rook darts across, one more flicker of rebellion, Petchidindi. Wesley shifts. Nendis. Ondiwan. Kf3, king steps away, ignoring the noise. Uli drops 68 Punkt. Can best in Agentausshed, Humut 68. Ed8, rook retreats to regroup, but it's already too late. Wesley reloads, Paish, Tiuristenen, Penobudwilmainus Saisid. Anain. Unnaya. Abone, forcing yet another check. Uli moves 69. KD, 2, king retreats, cornered, and fading. Wesley closes in. Peluish so sanmadentena, et tenubrich tometsis. Win. N. Kf2, the Black King joins the hunt, 2 moves from sealing fate. Uli strains 70. Pentuo unmischievin, Tunis P. Rad. 6. Rook captures pawn, clutching at the impossible. Wesley punishes. N. Nuane. Indan. Diatolikemonium. F3. Pawn storms forward, unstoppable now. Julie, repositions 71 Polen. Rf6. Rook tries to block the file. Wesley swings, poised. Antino. Rabite, preparing his final coordination. Julia, gasp 72, Polenbuk. Air d6, still trying to hold the line with trembling hands. Wesley delivers, Penistin, Imayo Ruster. Nilton, Indilwil, and Wiesen, Norishamanda. Destandinin. KJ2. His king invades again, closer and closer. Yoli defense, 73, Postain. RG6, check. But hope fades fast. Wesley dodges, Enbunian. Oh. Imaginan. Cathone, elegant, and deadly, calm as a blade before the kill. Yuli struggles, 74, Pimdenken. K3, desperate repositioning, in a burning field. Wesley advances, Pitstolwunen, Engeben K. Ananda. Unen, D. F2. The pawn just one step from promotion. It's over in spirit. Yuli 75 Toptis. Razix. One last plea for survival. Wesley seals it. 2-1. Anton. Nitin. Re8. Rook check. Final coordination achieved. Leron 76. KD2. King steps back. Nowhere left to go. Wesley So strikes. Anadmonotendi. Anda. Anno. Denkan. Einshinshir. R8. Locking in the victory. The black rook gleaming as the curtain falls. Checkmate in spirit. 0-1. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.